Hannah is a Division I women's basketball player who plays for Eastern Illinois Panthers in Charleston, Illinois. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Hannah's position is a forward, um, and she is a graduate transfer from DePaul University
Mhm.
in Chicago, Illinois, where she spent three years led by the Hall of Fame coach Doug Bruno, who recently just got inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, that is. That's awesome.
So, Hannah, I just want to say before we start, thank you for coming on my show.
Mhm.
Um, we're gonna be having a lot of fun just getting to know Hannah as well as talking about sports. All right. So, my first question to you is, Hannah, how's school going? How's life being a grad student, compared to being an undergrad?
It's good. It's good. I transferred last year, so this is my second year at Eastern Illinois. Um, it's definitely a transition. Living in Chicago, going to DePaul, that was so much fun. Being able to play basketball at the same time was incredible. I had so many amazing experiences there. And then transferred to Eastern Illinois just in the hope for a little bit more opportunity of a little bit more playing time. So I went there in, I guess, technically my senior year. Had a great first year there. Um, it was a big environment change though. Charleston is a pretty small town. The only thing there is basically the college. So going from Chicago to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I gotta drive an hour to go to Target. That's pretty different. Um, yeah, it's been a big transition, but I've enjoyed it. Um, my team is honestly what makes it fun. The people there are awesome. Um, School's been going well. I'm in my second year of my grad program. I'm getting my master's in sports administration. It's pretty cool because most of the other people in my program are either athletes or graduate assistants. And so it's just a lot of people that are in my same walk of life. So a lot to relate to and just great discussion in class. And I've really enjoyed like my classes so far. I like school, contrary to most people. I enjoy school. So it's been pretty fun.
That's awesome. You've talked about like just the change of pace between going to like a big market area in Chicago to play basketball compared to be playing basketball in Charleston.
Mhm.
So that kind of shows like how adaptable you are.
Thank
Um,
you. Yeah.
because I know like everyone adapts differently, but when you when you're just there to play basketball or just centered around focusing on something else, I think it can kind of just give you a perspective of what it's like to hoop or play basketball or go to school in a different area that you're not accustomed to.
Right. Right. Yeah. That was, like I said, it was a huge transition. And I went there specifically to play basketball. I didn't really look at like, okay, what town am I going to be living in? How's the school? How's like is there anywhere to go, anything to do? I just was like, okay, I know I'm going to get an opportunity to play, so I'm going to go to this school. Um Unfortunately, when I got there, first week of preseason, I had to have knee surgery. And so that was a big life lesson for me. I guess I would say that um all athletes, but especially like Division I athletes, we invest so much time into our sport. Like our our everyday lives are scheduled out for us because of like the time commitment that it takes to play sports at this level. And so, and like I said, I only went to Eastern Illinois to play basketball. So when I was stripped away, like right away when I got there,
Um,
that was difficult to deal with for sure. So.
was it just like a minor like sprain or like was it like
So so I tore my PCL in high school.
uh,
But I didn't get that fixed because it's kind of an invasive surgery. It's by a nerve, and you can play without it. So I just played without it.
what is a PCL? I'm sorry for those that don't know.
Yep. So right like on the top of your kneecap, like what connects your kneecap to like the bone right below that, you have your ACL and your PCL, and they cross over. So the ACL is beneath it, and the PCL is on top of it, and they cross over. So I tore my PCL, and that's what basically prevents your like the calf or like the bottom half of your leg from moving up and down.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so I don't have that.
Oh wow.
But then when I got to Eastern, I tore my meniscus, which is you have two meniscus, one on each side, your medial and your lateral. I tore my medial meniscus, and so I had to have surgery on that right away. Now my lateral meniscus is torn too, and that's a whole nother thing. But yeah,
Right
that was
now
it.
at the moment, that's what's torn.
Yeah, I have three torn ligaments right now.
Oh my gosh, you're a warrior.
Yeah, sports has taken a toll on me for sure.
Oh,
So
I mean that's still really uplifting and motivating how like you're able to just persevere and
mhm.
still work on yourself and still be committed to the grind even though like you're struggling right now.
Yeah, yeah, but
Okay. Well, I appreciate you like just opening up and telling me what
mhm,
life has been like these past couple of years because I feel like the last time I saw you, we were both still at the Paul
yep,
and it was honestly just like random by chance, you know.
yeah.
Like I was just out with a couple of my friends and then I think you were with your teammates.
Yeah, I was with my teammates and I didn't want to go, so I was just like, I'll only go if it's somewhere close by. And that was like the place we were at was like right next to my apartment. So it was easy.
Yeah, we were just like catching a Bulls game or something. So Um, yeah, it's just a small world because you never know how connections can go a long way. And
Yeah.
I feel like meeting anybody you meet in life doesn't come by coincidence. I think it serves a purpose.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So now that we've talked a little bit about just what you've been up to, can you tell me about your upbringing, like where you're
Yeah.
from and like, if you have any siblings or anything?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting where I started to where I ended up. So I'm from a small town in Minnesota called Annandale. Population of about 3,000 people. I graduated with a class of about 100. So very small rural area. I live out in the country. My entire street, I'm the only address on this road. I have no neighbors at all. The closest neighbor is about a mile away. Yep. My my dad raises pigs, my mom raises chickens, so we have some animals. It's not a farm though. It's not a farm, I promise. Everyone says it says I live on a farm. I don't. But yeah, I have four younger siblings. So I'm the oldest of five. So I think that's translated like skills I've learned with having younger siblings has definitely translated into my athletic career as well, just leadership and setting an example and like hard work and that type of stuff. Um, let's see what else. Oh, in high school, I played volleyball, basketball, I ran track, and I also tried cross country for a year. I was on JV. That was a very humbling experience for me. But yeah,
Nice.
I played a lot of sports in high school. It was fun. I liked where I lived. I liked where I grew up. I don't come back here very often because I guess like moving from so moving I just described my hometown to you, very rural, small town, in the country, very non-diverse population, and then moving to Lincoln Park in Chicago was a huge change for me. It took a lot of adjustment, but it was opportunity for growth and I definitely took it. And so it's hard to come back here when I know what else is out there in the world. So yeah, but I always
Definitely.
come back to see my family.
I love that though. I mean, you got to stay true to where you came from and, take those past experiences and, push that forward in life.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I love that. So would you say that like you growing up in a small like rural town area has kind of like made the transition to Charleston easier? Because I'm familiar with the area like Charleston because I actually spent some time in Champaign before going to DePaul.
Okay. Um, let's see, how to make it easier. Yeah, I would say so because when I lived here in Annandale, where I grew up, there's not much to do. Like, we have McDonald's and Subway, and those are the only restaurants within, like, 30 miles or, like, 20 miles, I guess. And there's, like we don't have a movie theater, we don't have, like, anywhere to shop, s there's a lot of lakes, that's about all there is to do, but I would say that the transition back to Charleston, um, from Chicago, it did remind me a lot of my hometown, so that did make it easier, I guess. Sorry.
No, you're
That
good.
did make it easier. Um, um, Charleston, you have to figure out things to do, like, you have to entertain yourself, like, you can't there's not much to do, so you just have to figure it out. Mostly, I just hang out with my teammates and friends, and, like, we just go for walks or watch a movie or whatever. So it definitely made the transition easier coming from a small town originally to go back to a small town, I would say.
I like that. You talk about your teammates. It seems that's an extension of your family.
Oh, 100%. It has to be. If you don't like your teammates, you're gonna be miserable because you spend so much time with them. It's forced time, but if you guys like each other, it can make things so much more fun. Um, there's gonna be good days and bad days, and when you like the people you're around, it just makes those bad days so much easier because yeah, you're spending so much time together. So I hope you like your teammates if you're on a sports team, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I would totally agree. Just from playing sports in the past, you gotta have chemistry, and you gotta be able to relate to someone on
Mhm.
a more like in-depth level. Um, as you talked about, like, just growing up in a small town, would you say that you would travel like frequently to like Minnesota, like Minneapolis, or like
When
for
I lived here.
yeah, when you're back home or something?
No, I rarely ever I didn't even know what the city was. Like, I didn't know, like I didn't know what else was out there really. Like, I was very sheltered when I growing up, and so, I never went to Minneapolis really unless, like, we had to go to the airport or, we went to, like, a professional sports game because like, the Minnesota Wild, the hockey team, the Twins, the baseball team, the Timberwolves, and the Lynx are all, like, in Minneapolis area. So if we ever went to one of those games, then I would go there, but otherwise, I never really went to Minneapolis when I was here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so let's now transition into basketball talk, as the show is centered around sports as well.
Mhm.
How has the game of basketball influenced your life?
That's a good one. Um, let's see. I have been playing since I was 6, and so, it's been a part of my life since that time, but even before that, my dad that when I was born, my dad was, a college basketball coach, just a D3 men's coach. And so he was coaching from the time I was born up until I was 8,
Mm.
and so I was around the game constantly. My first word was "ball," which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so I started playing then, and then I started playing AAU in 5th grade, so that's just, like, traveling basketball during the summer. And then obviously high school basketball as well. Um, and then yeah, on to college. It's definitely been a big part of my family. Since I've been home, I've gone to 4 games of 4 different cousins. I've gotten to watch both of my brothers play together. I've watched my sister play. Um, everyone I have a very big family and everyone in my family plays. So it's just kind of has brought a sense of community to our family. Just it's something that we can all relate to. Also just I think being on a team, whether it's a basketball team, a football team, baseball, volleyball, anything, is so valuable. You learn so many skills. You learn how to work with other people, leadership, if that's the position you're in, just time management and responsibility because you have to show up to practice on time. You can't be late, otherwise you're gonna be in trouble. Shows like work ethic and like teaches you how to work hard because it's not easy. Any any sort of workout is probably not gonna be easy. It's you're pushing your body, but um, that the more you do it, like, and the longer the workouts get, and depending on the level that you're playing at, um, you're pushing your body to, like, limits you didn't even know you could get to probably, so, it's just taught me a lot of valuable life lessons that I think will carry over, into my future career, into my family in the future, my interactions with friends. Um, yeah, it's been a huge part of my life, and I'm very grateful for it.
Hey, I love that. You talk about how the game has basically like brought so much value to your life, which I think is important. With whatever you choose to focus in, just hoping that it benefits you and everyone around you in the long run. So
Mhm.
I love to hear that. So just with like playing the game, at a young age, 6 years old. When did you realize like you would be good at basketball and like you would have a chance to play at the next level?
Um, that's a good question. I was always really tall. I'm 6'1", so as a female, that's pretty tall, and I never really had a growth spurt. I just kept on steadily growing throughout the years. So it's very obvious. It was very obvious at a young age that I was going to be tall. Um, and as a female, especially, it's very helpful in basketball and volleyball. Um, so there was that, and I guess I didn't really enjoy playing until maybe 8th grade because it was kind of I mean, my dad's a basketball coach, my
Yeah.
siblings were playing, it was kind of forced for a little while. Um, 8th grade, I joined an AAU team, and I got to travel across the country, made some of my best friends I still talk to this day. And that's when it actually became, like, fun. And that's when, coaches started showing up to watch, and you could see, like, we would have I had other really good players on my team too that are still playing at high levels, but just we'd have a game, and there on the baseline would be, like, a line of chairs filled with, like, college coaches watching and, like, coming to recruit, and that's when I think that we both kind of like, my dad was a big part of my recruiting process, um, just kind of realized that okay, I might be good at this and I might have a chance to play somewhere. So I would say around that 8th, ninth grade um, time was when I realized that I was going to be good. I got my first offer when I was in 8th grade. So that's kind of was like the big realization that, okay, this is going to take me somewhere, which was awesome.
Wow. So talk about the recruiting process. Like how many schools did you really like have? And then like like what were besides like I know you started at the Paul obviously
Mhm.
before coming to Eastern, but like what were the schools that you narrowed down the list to when before deciding on going to the Paul and then eventually Eastern where you're at today?
Yeah. So I was lucky to have great AAU coaches that, put a lot of effort into making sure that we got that my team got exposure.
Mhm.
And so, those coaches did a lot of, like, reaching out to, college coaches and, like, telling them when our game times were and all of that. So, I think I got a lot more, like, interest and offers because of that, not necessarily because of, like, I was that good. I don't know. I didn't have like, my college career wasn't, like, record-setting or major, I mean, I still played in college, but it wasn't like this I wasn't setting putting up crazy numbers, so it might be surprising some of the offers that I received. At the end, at the end of my recruiting process, I was between, University of Green Bay,
Mhm.
University of Iowa, and University of South Dakota and DePaul. So, some pretty good programs,
Yeah,
there.
a lot of good schools that you
Yeah.
mentioned.
Yep, so I chose DePaul because of I just fell in love with the city, I think, when I visited. I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn this off on my computer. But, yeah, so the recruiting process was stressful and difficult to navigate, and I don't think anyone really knows how to until they do it, so,
Hmm.
um, yeah.
Hey, I mean, I think it's cool just to hear your perspective because you think about how many chances someone gets to have that opportunity. So once you have those offers coming in, it's like you got to take it full advantage of it. And over the course of time between just analyzing the game of basketball and watching sports play out with recruitment, I've noticed that these these letters and like you know the coaches that come in to recruit players is just different. And so I can see how like how stressful that can be. But
Mhm.
that's cool to hear your story, just your outlook as far as like how you started at a young age and then you were just like constantly working to get to the point of where you are.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Playing basketball has definitely been a blessing in my life, especially for, um, the education opportunity that I've received from, getting recruited to play. So that's been awesome to be able to get my master's, in 5 years. I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't playing basketball, I don't think, so that's pretty cool too.
Is just thinking about the game of like basketball in the state of Minnesota, I know there's some like really good hoopers, like
Yeah.
for girls and guys.
Yeah.
So can you talk about any of the players that you played against or from travel league and or like just watching in high school, men's or women's?
Yeah. Um, I think that Minnesota has an incredible basketball culture. Like, you've seen some great players come out of here, some big names from, um, like Paige Beckers is from Minnesota. I'm trying to think of others. Basically, the entire University of Minnesota basketball team is from Minnesota. Um,
That's insane.
there's yeah, Ayoka Lee, she's from Minnesota. She plays at Kansas State. She's been putting up huge numbers this year. Um, there's so many others. Names aren't coming to my mind right now, but like I grew up watching like Jalen Suggs and David Roddy, who both play in the NBA right now. Tyus and Trey Jones also in the NBA. Um,
The Shet,
and
that's also there too.
what'd you say?
Shet?
Yeah, Chet Holmgren. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just and a lot of the I have younger brothers, so they play AAU. So I would go to tournaments for them, and I would get to watch like Team Tyus play or who's Howard Pulley. That's a big like men's AAU team here. Um D1 Minnesota. And so it's just a fun culture to be around. And then like I feel some like pride towards those players. Like when I watch like NBA games and the Magic are playing, like I'm cheering for Jalen Suggs, or I'm watching the Grizzlies play, like David Roddy gets in the game. It's exciting. Um and like even like watching like Paige get injured and then come back and get injured and come back, like that I feel like more sympathy from her for her, and like I'm a fan of her maybe more so because she's from Minnesota. Um and same with I love watching basketball, so I'll turn on the TV if there's I know if there's a Minnesota girl playing on a team somewhere, like that's the game I want to watch more because I feel like it's just a good basketball culture here in our state. Yeah.
I agree. Just from like seeing the players come out and like, the amount of attention they've been getting in the media. My sister used to play travel league basketball
Yeah.
back in the day. So I actually rode with her for a tournament in Minnesota one time. I forgot the name of the school, but we got to experience like Mall of America a little bit and
Yeah.
just be around Minnesota, which was a different vibe.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a fun place to be. Don't come in the winter though.
It's bad. It's that
Oh,
bad.
it's so cold, yeah.
Is it worse in Chicago?
Yes.
Uh,
It just has more, like, extremes, like, it'll get down to, like, -30 here.
oh, that's insane.
Yeah. It's way more windy in Chicago, though, I will say.
Uh,
It's way more windy.
well, it's a fair trade. You can't win everything.
That's true. That's true.
Um, so, but when I think of Minnesota, even though basketball has been so high as of recently, I think about hockey or like ice skating. So, like, were you ever exposed to that when you were younger?
Hockey, it's definitely very popular here in Minnesota. Have, like, skating like, there's a skating rink in town we'd always go to, or, like, we have a pond in our backyard, so we would go skate out So I didn't realize that it wasn't like that other places until I moved, and I was like, well, where, can we go to the lake? And they're like, what lake? It's like an hour away. Well, in Chicago, obviously, there's a
Yeah.
big lake there, but in Charleston, you can't just go swim. You go to the lake and swim, but um, everyone, I feel like most people know how to skate here because it's so common, I
It's
guess.
it's a cultural thing at this point, right?
Definitely cultural thing.
Um, but hey, that's cool to hear.
Oh,
Uh, so as we go back into basketball talk, can you tell the people, everyone that's listening, uh what your game is like if you had to describe it to us by like the way you play and also what your role on the team is currently?
so let's see, describe my game. It's changed at the different schools I've been at. So currently here, I think my coaches would say, you always know what you're gonna get from me. I'm gonna be consistent. Um, I crash the boards hard, both offensive and defensive. Um, if I get the ball within, you know, 4 feet of the basket, it's gonna be an automatic 2 points, like in the post or um yeah, something like that. If kick out for a wide open three, I'm gonna hit that. So I would say I'm a spot up shooter and um, just I score off of rebound putbacks and spot up shooting, I would say the most.
So would you say that you're like a stretch four?
Yeah,
Stretch four, okay. Like,
yeah,
can you play multiple positions or like are you just more in the paint?
yeah. So at DePaul, I played like the three basically. So I would just come in and they were just looking for me to shoot.
Okay.
Um, and then last year, they needed a backup center, so I
Hmm.
played the five the whole
Wow.
year, which was interesting. But I mean, I'm like I said, I'm 6'1". I'm pretty tall. I'm pretty strong as well, so I was able to. And this is definitely a lower. I played in the OVC, the Ohio Valley Conference, so it's a lower level conference. So the size and the strength is definitely not the same as it was in the Big East. So I was fine playing the five. And then this year I've mostly played like 3-4, more four. So yeah.
That's solid. I think when you're just able to add, different experiences and from being on different teams and combine them together, you're
Mhm.
only going to be more impactful. And it sounds like you've been doing that already. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
So just with focusing on women's sports and men's sports, but in particular women's sports, what would you like to see change or improve from like, the collegiate level or the professional level on any level?
Okay. Um, well, I think last year there was a lot of controversy with Angel Reese and the way that she was maybe flashy or like to talk or create drama, but then like comparing her to Caitlin Clark, who was doing the same thing, but she wasn't getting the same sort of pushback. Um, I love it. I love it all. I'm just any news like good or bad is gaining more exposure for women's basketball, and because Angel Reese was um maybe like more dramatic than the majority of players, like it caused more people to want to watch her, and I think that's awesome. I love that she shows her character in how she plays, and she doesn't change whether she's like on the court or off the court. She's showing her personality, and I think that's incredible. I hope that more women start to do that and like feel freer to um like show who they really are like on the court as well, because like you can see by the numbers it gained viewers. Like more people watched the women's national championship last year than ever before, and I think it's going to continue to grow. I think that um especially with the opportunity of NIL deals, that's changed the women's game completely. Like some of the highest paid um NIL athletes are women, which is incredible. And I just hope that that continues to to increase over time. And I think that um, as long as the media coverage for women's sports keeps on increasing, I think that the viewers will increase as well. The exposure will increase, the popularity, and also just respect for women athletes and female athletes in general. I think will increase over time. Um, I don't know. I just like the direction that everything's going. I think that there's a long ways to go. But I like the direction that women's sports is going right now, for sure.
I would definitely agree with you on that one. That women's sports definitely has a lot of momentum right now. So you just got to keep riding that wave and, push things to the next level.
Hmm.
So for young girls that are aspiring to play at the level you're playing at or even higher, they'll even have like better opportunities than compared to the past.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You also mentioned NIL deals. Can you tell me if like if there's any teammates that you've interacted with that have deals, or if you personally have any NIL deals as well?
Yeah, so I NIL, a lot of people don't know this, but there's like there's different types. So there's some companies that you can apply to be like an NIL athlete for their brand. So you don't even have to, they don't have to reach out to you or anything. Like anyone can apply and like you can get accepted to be an NIL athlete and represent their brand. Um, Other NIL deals, the brand themselves will reach out to you to see if you'll, represent them. You can get compensated through just money or gear or like products or anything like that. So there's like a huge range of different NIL deals. Um, like I said, my conference is like a lower conference, so there's not a lot of athletes that are very well known on my team or in my conference, but so no brands have really reached out to anyone that I know of on my team. Um, but there are some of us that have NIL deals with like smaller brands that we've applied to ourselves. So I applied to be a athlete ambassador for Bubbler. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a caffeinated drink. So that's my like NIL deal, I guess. It's not really NIL, it's just I get free products every month and I just have to
Promote
um
it?
yeah, promote it a little bit. So I mean it's fun. I like being a part of it. So and I get free products from it, so why wouldn't I? Same with some of my like AAU teammates, I guess I've seen more so of, and a lot of the time it's like different energy drinks or like beverages, so like Alani or like Liquid IV or just like other less known brands. Or a lot of times it's gear of like small companies or small brands that are trying to get their name out there more. They'll have deals with athletes so that they can promote it for them.
I think that's really cool. Just to see the growth as far as where NIL started to like the potential it has to take off and impact like everyone in the future.
Mhm.
I still think that there's like a lot that still needs to be worked on, but
Yeah.
it's really cool to just hear about your experience and just overall like how NIL deals have impacted student athletes
Yeah.
lives and families' lives for the better.
For sure.
Um, so now as we like kind of like transition, I only have a couple more questions because I
Okay.
know you said like you have to leave soon. So
Yeah, I'm going to a
definitely
basketball game, so
oh yeah, I know I got you. Just a couple more
yeah.
questions. Can you give me your three most memorable experiences of being around the game of basketball so far? It could be going to a game, it could be playing in a game, it could be, just experiencing something or meeting someone that you're like, wow, I get to do that, or I got to experience this, or be around this person.
Right. Right. Okay, let me think here. Um, Two come to mind immediately. So my what was it? freshman year, yeah, my freshman year of uh basketball playing at DePaul. We won the conference championship. I didn't get in the game. I barely played it all my freshman year. But just the confetti everywhere, being able to cut down a piece of the net, just like storming the court with my team. Um, that was awesome. I got to hold the trophy. I have like my own like personal trophy from the Big East championship. Um, it's such a fun game. It was close. That was very memorable and like a great way to start my a great first year, great memory from my first year of college basketball. So that was definitely a very memorable time. Um, I would say the second one that comes to mind right away was my junior year. UConn joined our conference my sophomore year,
Hmm.
and but we couldn't have fans at the games that year because it was
Oh,
the COVID.
COVID year. Yeah.
Yeah. So my junior year playing at I think it's Gamble Pavilion is where UConn plays at. And they could have fans and it was a packed house. Like it was incredible. And I got in the game. I played a decent amount that game and just like playing against girls that you see on social media all the time, like seeing them in real life. I don't know, it's different. And then just their student section is crazy. Like they're so loud, they're yelling at you, and it was awesome. Like it was so fun to play in that type of environment, and that was something that'll stick with me forever for sure.
That's sweet. So that game at UConn that you played,
Mhm.
was that at UConn's home court?
Yeah, yeah, that was at UConn's home court. Yeah,
Yeah, their team, men's and women's, is exceptional. So you got to
yeah,
bring in your best
definitely.
effort.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of a third one. I wonder if there's something here that's been. I guess I'll do an Eastern memory. So at Eastern Illinois, one of the teams in our conference is Tennessee Tech, and they're typically the best team in our conference. They won our conference last year. They went to the NCAA tournament. They lost to Iowa State, I think, or something like that. Um, anyways, we are since my coach has been at Eastern Illinois for 11 years, I'm pretty sure. And so since he's been there, I don't think he's beaten Tennessee Tech at Tennessee Tech yet. So last year we went to Tennessee Tech and we beat them at their home court for the first time. And so after the game, we're all hyped up and we're dumping water on our coach and we're screaming. So that was a pretty awesome memory as well. And to be able to be in that game and have a big impact in it made it even more fun.
Yeah, I love that. Anytime you can impact a team in any sort of way, whether it's playing or just supporting your teammates, I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, I agree.
So I've got like two more questions and then we'll be done. Um, my next question is like, so now that you're like, a student athlete, and like you've been in the game of basketball, especially playing in college for a bit now, uh, do you have any aspirations of playing basketball after college, or are you just kind of like looking for more of a full-time role, like full-time job role?
Okay. So I actually had to medically retire a couple weeks ago. So I'm done. My basketball career is over with,
Oh my
unfortunately.
gosh, no.
Yeah. So like I said, I have three torn ligaments and I got an x-ray and like I have really bad arthritis. I've had it for a couple years. And so like my my cartilage is gone. So my it's like bone on bone impact in my left knee. So I'm not able to play anymore. So there's no pro career for me. I did have slight aspirations of playing overseas for a couple seasons just to travel and see the world a little bit. I thought that would have been pretty fun. But that's not a reality anymore, but that's okay. I have my undergrad in marketing and then I'll graduate with my master's in May in sports administration. So I'd love to coach for a couple years. I don't know if that would be my long-term career. I mean, see if I like it or not. But So possibly coaching. Otherwise, I would love to work as like in sports marketing or operations or something like that for either a college team or a pro team.
Hey, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm sorry to hear about that news, with you having to retire. So are
Mhm.
you just kind of like now, like, on the bench supporting your team, but like still trying to participate in what you can do?
Yeah, so I'm on break right now. My coach gave me a few weeks off just to kind of be with my family and just like mentally get in a good headspace. But then he asked me if I would be a student assistant coach. So um I'm still on the team, still on scholarship, still part of everything, but I'm technically going to be an assistant coach now. So that's pretty awesome and it'll help start my coaching career going further, which is very awesome too. He's been very understanding of everything and um, just trying to give me the best experience possible in the position I'm in, which I'm very grateful to have the head coach that I do.
Hey, that's a blessing right there, for
Mhm.
sure. As I
Yeah.
just think about, your mentality and how you're just able to take things in but never give up.
Mhm.
And I love how like you're just able to still continue to fight even when things are down. So I love that.
Mhm.
Um,
Thank you.
so my last question to you is this is just an advice question
Okay.
on like what you would give to a current or future student, women's or men's uh, athlete that's trying to manage your life in college between doing schoolwork, having a social life, and lastly, performing at an elite level with the sport they focus on. What advice would you give?
Yeah. Some advice I would give that definitely came into play for me is that basketball can't be your identity. Um, it's a big part of it's going to be a big part of your life, and as it was a big part of mine. But on those days when you had a bad practice, or you sprained your ankle and you're going to be out for a couple weeks, or you only got in the game in the first half and then the second half you didn't get in, and those experiences, if basketball is their identity, you're going to be let down. You need to find hobbies or somewhere else that you can find joy from because um, basketball is not going to bring you that 100% of the time. For me, my faith is a big priority in my life, and that's where I'm able to go to where I find my security, where I find my identity, and that has helped me through the hard days of my basketball career. It's just important to know that you're more than a basketball player. And that doesn't mean that you can't care or you can't work hard because that's extremely important. But just being able to find a balance in life between basketball and everything else is extremely important, and you're going to have a much better experience if you're able to do that.
Hey, that you're preaching right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I love it though. You got to be able to have a balance. That's what I was able to take from what you just mentioned, and
Mhm.
just really like have hobbies and things you can do, which
Mhm.
are really important. So that pretty much wraps up our time on our show for today. I want to start by ending to say thank you, Hannah, again for coming on my show. I appreciate your time, and I definitely hope we can stay in touch. I would love to see a game, um, or just even support your team.
Yeah.
Uh,
You'll see me there, but just not on the court.
yeah, it's all good. To those
Thank
that
you for
tuned
having
in, oh, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. I feel like this is a Christmas present to me, so I appreciate it. As you will be the last person I interview right before the new year.
Okay, okay.
So to those who tuned in today, I want to thank you for listening. Your support goes a long way. So signing off, this is your host, Anthony or DJ Double A on the Backyard Talks podcast show with Hannah Purcell, Eastern Illinois women's basketball forward graduate student. Stay tuned in for another week of the show, where you will be listening to sports discussions and getting inside perspectives from student athletes, coaches, and fans around the game. Again, I thank everyone for listening, and I hope everyone enjoys their holidays as we approach a new year. Thank you again, Hannah, and that will be it.